Big Hits, WBTC The Tusk, and it's that time for the 8:30 High Beam. JoEllen Sanders from HARCATUS is with us this morning. And JoEllen, how is everything going with HARCATUS? And, you know, one of the big questions I want to ask right up front, this may take a while for you to answer. The seasons are changing. You know,
they are.
What are some of the things going on with the different programs in the season changes?
Sure. You know, it's getting warmer. We're starting to think spring and think out of that winter season. But, you know, winter crisis is still going on. That program that the state has out that can help with anyone who has a disconnect and can keep that heat on, you know. We do. I am ready for spring. I think I had my windows open this weekend. I am ready for baseball.
The problem is when you open your windows, you forget to close them, and all of a sudden you wake up and your house is like 40 degrees.
Exactly. So, you know, we still want to keep those houses warm. We know we're going to be cold again. We live in Ohio. You never know which temperature it's going to be.
What really gets me is when I open the windows and forgot to turn the heat off, and the windows are open and the heater's running.
Yes,
that's always great.
That's always great. So, you know, the offices do have to wrap up those winter crisis applications here in the month of March. So if you have come in and started an application, we need you to come back in and get those final pieces of paperwork in. If maybe you came in November and weren't quite at 25% bulk fuel in your tank, and now you're below that 25%, let's get you back in. Let's do this March winter crisis, get it finished out, wrap it up so that on April 15th, which is the complete, all the documents have to be in, everything has to be done date. It's done.
Yeah, it's a big date, too.
It's a big date. April is a popular month for a lot of things with our government.
Yes, it is.
So, you know, winter crisis definitely is wrapping up. Remember, we can do $175 potentially for a regulated utility, $750 for those unregulated, and up to $900 for bulk fuel. And we actually have seen an increase in coal and wood assistance this year. We've seen quite a few people coming in for those cords of wood for their houses to stay warm off that way.
Now, do you go out and chop the wood and take it to them?
I do not. Thank you, goodness.
All right.
Luckily, we have great vendors that are out there that will deliver, and we pay those delivery fees. But it really is any way to keep your house warm. It's not just what we often think about of utilities. HEAP, of course, is still ongoing. That is the one-time payment. You don't have to be in disconnect. You just come in, apply, you qualify by income level, possibly even age and disability, things like that all play a factor. And we get all your information. We take those applications and the income, and we enter you into the state system. And about a month and a half later, you will see a credit on your heating source. So last year, there actually were 3 different credits that went out. So, you know, it'll go on your Dominion bill. It'll automatically go to AmeriGas or a bulk fuel company. And then you can continue to get those fuels throughout the year until winter crisis comes back around next year.
It has to be hard to keep track of these programs, especially when they change with these credits, you know, for COVID and all these things that happen, is trying to keep on track as to how our programs work, or how are they working? Are they going better, worse? You know, things like that. It has to be difficult.
It is fascinating to watch the numbers and watch the flux. Of course, with Home Relief, which is a program that we can help with additional rent assistance and utilities assistance for those who have been financially impacted by COVID. You know, we have seen a change in some of our numbers. We're starting to ride that out. I think the COVID funds are starting to go away. And so I think we'll see these numbers of our normal programs, winter crisis, HEAP, summer crisis, those things start to grow again, because we did bring in a lot of new clients into HARCATUS during COVID who came in for rent assistance, which is something we don't normally do. So I definitely encourage people to come in. Let's talk. One of the things the state does for HEAP is we open the doors for the HEAP program usually August 1st. And it's one of those, August or September, it's one of those programs that you can come in, we'll take your application, but then a few months later, the state will also mail you the paper application.
Not to confuse anybody.
Not to confuse anyone. And I feel awful because some people are doing these applications 2 or 3 times. And I just want to say, call the office. Ultimately, if you call your local county office, they're going to be able to tell you, do you need to do that paperwork again? Should you mail it to the office or should you mail it to the state? Obviously, if you drop it off right at our office, we're going to handle it a lot quicker because you're right there. And we've got people standing by to start entering that data and getting your appointment scheduled. So let me give you the phone number for all 3 counties. If you call 740-922-0933, it's going to give you the actual phone numbers for each local office, but that's going to get you right to a Tuscarawas County representative who can help you with these programs.
JoEllen Sanders from HARCATUS. You're the director of HARCATUS. So you're
just director of community services.
Okay, well, that's close enough when I'm in a room with any kind of director. One thing you brought up about questions, I found out when I talked to you before, is there's a lot of things you do that people don't realize that you're able to do to help them. In other words, if somebody has a question, that's where these calls come in or visits come in to say, hey, I've got this situation where this is happening, and you might come up and say, oh, yes, there's an opportunity for you to get help.
Exactly. You know, we definitely have programs that we're very familiar with and that most people in our communities have heard me talk about a lot, but there are a lot of different state programs. We talk about it all the time. You know, HARCATUS has Head Start. We have senior nutrition. We have retired volunteer programs. We have weatherizing your homes. We have youth employment services. We really do go from a pregnancy now with early Head Start up to our retirees. And so our goal and our mission at HARCATUS is to truly serve the low income in our counties. And so to do that, the best way is to talk to you and see how else we can maybe make a referral. I will say we utilize the 211 system through United Way a lot to encourage people when it's something we can't do or don't do. But we also hand out household items, toilet paper and paper towels and dish soap once a month to people. We have a food pantry, a clothing closet. There's just a lot of things going on at HARCATUS. And then we get partners who are great, such as COAD, who say, hey, we're going to give $500 scholarship to low-income graduates or even non-traditional students for a 2 or 4 year accredited program. So that's on our website right now.
Just like I said, you just gave a 2-minute dissertation of all these things that people don't realize. What I like also, a lot of these programs that had started on the state level only, for instance, HEAP, Home Energy Assistance Program, started with the tax department way back in I believe it was the 80s, early 90s, and you know, how to deal with state agencies and stuff like that, where, you know, you need boots on the ground in that area to be aware of the folks in that area.
Definitely.
When you get it drilled down and getting folks in this area to be able to talk one-on-one or, you know, have their friends, their neighbors, get them help, it means a lot more to everybody.
It does. It's wonderful to think about community action as a whole, being located in each and every county in the state of Ohio, and being able to truly work one-on-one with our residents. What a wonderful benefit.
JoEllen Sanders, the director of communications and something else, whatever she said, but she's a director. That's all I heard. But thank you for coming in today. We appreciate it. And we're going to see you next month because you just are a wealth of information to help folks in the community. And that's so important.
Thank you.
Okay, JoEllen Sanders on the B Team morning show and also on the 8:30 High Beam. So thanks to JoEllen for coming in this morning. This is Big Hits, WBTC, The Tusk.